We're going to learn exactly what Ethereum is. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for your next speaker, Vlad Zamfir.
Thank you. Cheers. Testing, testing. Do you guys hear me? Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming, and thank you for tuning in online later. This might be a long talk. I haven't done it before, so let's go. What is it? What is Ethereum? That is a question that's been plaguing many people for a long time. And finally, I think there is sort of a definitive answer. But first, we need to start with some background knowledge. At first, there was light. It transcended time and space, and then there wasn't enough light to cover everything, and so there was absence of light, and that created tension between the worlds. Created the physical universe, which we call the great dark beyond. Fire, magic, all sorts of wonderful existence stuff. And then there's the twisting nether, this other world, the world beyond the singularity, the world beyond the edge of the dark portal, the world beyond the edge of the black hole, where things are unstable and they're not like physically real, but still they have an influence from beyond the void to the physical world. There's different fundamental forces of the universe. Light is one of the two most fundamental forces. It's basically, the sort of, Christian Zoroastrian light that we're all familiar with. It gives you wisdom and knowledge. And then there's void, the absence of light. But they can't exist without each other. Order or arcane magic, orders things based on plans and, the sort of conjectures of the wizards. And basically, it requires mana, which is like this unit of energy. Chaos is disorder, the lack of order. It's basically another kind of magic, but it in turn breeds on another fundamental force called life. Life, it's a cosmic force that counterbalances another force, death, that we're about to talk about. It promotes renewal. It's basically creates the things that create order and chaos. And that's why, like order and chaos, magic come from things that are alive, right? It basically is, why we're all here, right? Because of this force of nature, the force of life. And then there's death. Death is the counter force of life. It sort of is the absence of life, but really, and also the end of life, the sort of counterbalance to life. It basically is, in some way for life, its eventual oblivion, the doom of mortal existences. And then there's the physical world. Like Azeroth, probably the most famous and most important and most notable physical world, the one where the gods, the old gods were banished. And then imprisoned by the Titans. I'm sure you're all aware that all player characters are champions of Azeroth, and everyone who's not a player character is not a champion of Azeroth. It's sort of very basic lore. So all player characters come from Azeroth, and Azeroth is part of the physical world, and the physical world is a threat to the void. It exists in opposition to the void. And that's why it's beset by this conflict between light and void. Argus. This is a world that is sort of in the physical world but has become corrupted by demons. And basically is like the sort of home world of the demons on the physical world. If Azeroth is the home of the sort of champions of light, the Argus is the home of the champions of the void. It's corrupted and it's fallen into the Burning Legion stronghold, and their goal is to end all of existence. But still, and they need to come to the physical world to do that. Draenor is another world. It's where all the Draenei come from. And also the home of the orcs, before it was basically destroyed and pulled into the twisting nether in this like sort of constant process of being pulled into the nether, where it's sort of being destroyed and it's fractured in this thing called Outland, which is sort of outside of the physical world, not quite in the twisting nether, but in between. And this is sort of where orcs come from, where Draenei come from. It's sort of a very interesting world between the physical world and the twisting nether. And this is where sort of all the orcs come from, and therefore you can think of like the whole horde as being sort of coming from Draenor, and that sort of explains a little bit in some way the sort of the darker vibe of the horde. Because they've been pulled towards the twisting nether by the void, basically. And then there's Koresh, the ancient homeland of an advanced civilization that basically led eventually to the creation of Ethereum. Well, it's actually where Ethereum was born before the ethereals even became a thing. So Ethereum was the ruling class of the people of Koresh when they still had a corporeal form. They were, a very advanced magical, technological civilization, and therefore their existence posed a threat to the Void Lords and their plan of eternal damnation for everyone. So the Void Lords came in and basically started to destroy and invade Koresh because of this threat that has to be subsided by the powers of the Void. And the Ethereum was, and still is, I guess, the legitimate ruling faction of Koresh. But now, basically, Lord Dementias sort of, and his destruction has reigned in Koresh. And basically, what happened is sort of amazing. Through this advanced technology, the Ethereum reconstituted the corporeal people of Koresh into these ethereal people who can exist in pure energy, no body. They don't even have a body. They're not corporeal at all. So the Ethereum created the ethereals by getting rid of the corporeal body of the people of Koresh because of their doom, their plight, basically, where the Void Lords are going to destroy everything, and therefore, to escape their inevitable end, they reconstituted themselves into forms of pure magic. And that let them escape into the twisting nether, where physical reality is banned. No one with a corporeal form can really go into the twisting nether. But that's sort of where Dementias came from, and that's why the Ethereum had to go get them. So basically, there's a Nexus King, Salhadar, and he basically was the ruler of the Ethereum and of the people of Koresh during the invasion from Lord Dementias, the All-Devouring. And he created the ethereals. He basically created this amazing process of transforming a corporeal, him and his mages, or a corporeal Koreshi into this ethereal Koreshi that it basically is able to now go to beyond the void into the twisting nether, to sort of defend themselves and avenge what's happening. So, I told you, I'm telling you the story, and here it is in text and beautiful visual representation. So basically, the Koreshis were pretty much wrecked. I mean, their whole society was damned and doomed and had to leave Koresh. And so the ethereals therefore moved into Outland, hanging out basically around the twisting nether, and into basically various different factions. But basically, the king, still is the leader of the Ethereum, basically, which basically is still focused entirely on the revenge to get justice for the destruction of their homeland. But this becomes sort of controversial with the ethereals in their new life when they, even forgot. Maybe some of them never even lived on Koresh, and so the political will maybe isn't always there for everyone, and vengeance does create some bad vibes. And so there are two other factions that were created basically after the destruction of Koresh, called Consortium and Protectorate, who basically, think Ethereum is sort of lost or a threat. The Protectorate thinking they're a threat, and the Consortium thinking that they're lost. like wasting money when they could be being good capitalists. And basically what Ethereum is up to is they're trying to harness the void energy and basically reconstitute themselves from positive or constructive energy and magic into this void energy in order to achieve enough power to basically go into the realms of these void lords and to destroy the void lords. So basically they're at the Mana Forge on the verges of Outlands, trying and like taming this void energy and trying to reconstitute themselves from this constructive magic into this void magic. And then basically champions of Azeroth come in and save the day with the Protectorate and sort of shut down the whole void ethereal's operation. But thankfully for the Ethereum, eventually the champions kill dementias in a quest later on. So there is cosmic justice, even though the Ethereums didn't themselves extract that justice, thanks to the heroes of Azeroth. So, originally the ethereals were this physical form. Here's a great representation. And basically, they were being damaged because of their physical form, so they had to reconstitute themselves from things of physics to things of pure magical energy. So they're travelers, astral, as fast as the speed of light, interdimensional, but they still are driven by trade, economics, political structures, basically around making money, the good old, fashion way. Basically, they're like, according to the lore, they're like goblins, focused on money, and notorious for their aims, and pursuing mysterious aims. Basically, they'd support anyone who has advanced their profits or motives. And basically, so Ethereum is one of these factions. I'm sorry to have front-run the slides and told the story, but basically, here they are, becoming void in order to kill dementias. Sounds like it makes sense. Unfortunately, the Protectorate disagree, and they think that that's dangerous. Becoming void to fight dementias. If you fight with monsters, you will become one, and maybe even a worse one. And the Protectorate know that, and they want to sort of keep people more or less safe from the Ethereum. And then the Consortium, basically, they don't really care. They're just trying to make it for themselves. They're trying to, look out for number one, as they say, and they're just trying to make money. And so basically, here is where we are in the history of Ethereum. Way before. For some reason, I don't see it here. What's happening? It's way before even we rule Koresh. Like way before the whole global domination threatens the end of the universe and the Void Lords come in to destroy the universe. Sorry, the Earth is our Koresh. So we're like before even the ruling part, and then after the ruling, then the Void Lords come because no, it's not supposed to happen that people live forever, and the force of death is strong. It's going to fight this force of light and magic and stuff, and so we're really really early in this whole story. We haven't even ruled, so we don't need to worry about the divide yet. But this is the way the lore goes. We will be divided into these three factions. And then, thanks to the heroes of Azeroth, everything is going to be fine. So, everyone always wonders, what is Ethereum? And it turns out that Ethereum is basically the ruling class of the Koreshi people who turned the corporeal people into ethereal people in order to avoid the wrath of dementias, who now is succumbed to the quest for revenge for dementias has ravaged their hometown or home world. So that is Ethereum. And Ethereum, today, on our timeline, is still very early, and we're not in a sorry state. Here towards the end, it gets a little sorry, but don't worry, everything is fine. Everything ends up being fine. But for now, we chillin', we're early, we haven't even ruled the world yet. So thank you all very much. That's the talk, 5 minutes early. Oh yeah, can I get some questions? Oh, there's questions in the chat. Oh, what is Bitcoin? Ah. I mean, you may not be ready to hear this, but Bitcoin is the Protestant Reformation of the bank as the church. And it's actually a security in that Reformation. Not in an investment contract, it's a security in the Protestant Reformation of the bank as the church. You're not ready to hear it, no one's ready to hear it, that's what it is. I'm sorry to say. Who do you see the Void Lords be for us? Basically, they're a cosmic force that comes about because the cosmos insists on ending all timelines. And so actually, it's sort of like not clear yet in the physics if that's what happens in our cosmos. And so it's basically like, you can think of it as like a, like some kind of cosmic force that disagrees with our trajectory in the cosmic physics of things, and therefore like pushes us through the void, which is sort of the absence of being, or like you can think of it as like almost an anti-physics that makes sure that physics goes a certain way. So it's like the Void Lords are not constituted in normal physics. And then when you see a physical representation of a Void Lord, it's like a, it's not really a Void Lord. It's like a dude who like got all I am become void about it, like the Ethereum people did. Which is like, I mean, it's all just part of life, but like, they're still physical beings or whatever. You can't be physical and void at the same time. It's a contradiction. You could be a void being that likes to levitate clothes around them, around where they like to pretend they are in space. That's sort of how void ethereals rock it. They just they choose a place in space and they float clothes around, just to relate. Sorry. Will Ethereum always rule? Well, no. I mean, I think dementias sort of wrecks them. So I mean, at least until dementias wrecks them, I think the story is yes. Who are the rulers in the Ethereum world? Where is the power? Well, there's a Nexus King, and I assume that he has the most power. Until the Nexus King Salazar, he has the most power until dementias takes over. So look, I don't know what you mean when you say Ethereum. You're obviously referring to World of Warcraft lore. Any more questions? I mean, I can take questions from the real life audience. For the Horde. Loktarodar. Oh no. Yeah, for the Horde though, for real though. Yeah. They're not so bad. They're what's the word? They're misunderstood, misrepresented. They need to hire some better lawyers and some better PR people.
Just beating up the alliance, that's fine too.
Yeah, well, you beat them up with lawyers and PR people. Okay, well, if there's no questions, I guess we'll yield back the time. Thank you all. Appreciate it.